start with questions for either Kadari or RJ.
Well, we're obviously a very intelligent but gritty team where we don't rattle when we're down. We did something tonight that we don't normally do. We went to full court pressure just about the entire game. We felt it could take the legs out of their shooting. We felt it could take time off the clock because they run so many great sets. We just wanted to really get after it in a full court situation. Our out of bounds play at the end was a counter and 5 down, and Reggie, got to give a lot of credit to I let my assistant coach Bob Walsh call the out of bounds plays. He came up with a beautiful 5 down counter, and he had the right guy shooting the ball. Reggie never met a shot he didn't like, and there was no doubt in my mind he was going to make the shot. I was 100% sure he would make the shot. Then Kadari made some great plays down the stretch, made the free throws. It's a big time win for us. Awesome crowd, very difficult to go against that type of crowd, but this is a veteran team. Cooks is as good as it gets. He's been around a long time. He's going on 42 next week, so it doesn't get any better than Cooks, and there's no better scorer, I think, in the Big East than RJ. So really proud of the guys.
Any questions?
RJ, could you just take us through that moment when the shot goes in and basically the entire building just kind of starts to empty out, quiet the crowd? Just with that, seeing that shot go in.
First and foremost, gotta give the glory to God for allowing me to be here. Like Coach Pitino said, shout out Coach Bob. He's the one who drew it up, and he trusted that I can make the shot. And it was just straight adrenaline. I knew I made the shot, but the game wasn't over till the buzzer sound. So it feels great. And I'm glad Coach Bob, like I said, drew that play up for me. And we came out swinging. We came out fighting hard like we always do. This is a very, very gritty team. All the guys want to win. We're very hungry, and we're just taking it day by day. And it was a great road win.
Kadari, when UConn starts the game with that sort of big run and they got a 14-point lead, what are you guys saying to each other? What is Coach Pitino saying to you guys?
We've been down before, down big, and we always find a way to fight back. We were doing some uncharacteristic things, but we settled down and was able to come back and get a big win in a tough place to play.
Kadari, why does this team always battle back when dig big holes on the
Just refusing to lose and having the will to win, and just knowing that we're one of the best teams out here, and we're going to keep working and being humble and being who we are.
Kadari, what changed for you at the half? You were scoreless in the first half. You had all your points in the second half. You played right down the stretch. What kind of shifted for you there?
There's 2 halves. I didn't see it go in the first half, just knowing that I'm a good player and my teammates trusted me, coaches trusted me, and that I'm going to get it going eventually, so I wasn't too worried.
RJ, can you talk a little bit about the pressure that you were putting on UConn in terms of getting the ball in bounds?
I like to press. I like to, get up in the man's chest. I think, Coach P should allow us to press a little bit more. I think we got the great guys to do it. We're long, athletic, and fast. And it was just really to speed up the tempo, because if you guys see, they don't play as fast as us. So we were just trying to get them to speed up and get them to mess up on their offensive sets.
RJ, how would you describe the kind of defense that you guys play late in the game when the other team is trying to make something happen?
I think we look at the ball as food. We're just trying to take it. Like I said, I feel like we're a bunch of dogs. We play hard, and I feel like we just wanted more than them.
RJ, we've heard a lot this season about this team's will to win. Well, where does that come from? Who instills that in you guys?
The will to win. I think everybody brings it, but just to see Coach Pitino where he's at in his life. He's still young, but just the fire that he brings, and the fire that he brings. Not only Coach Pitino, but the whole coaching staff. They really care about us. They're really genuine. They want to see us do good. So, when you got people like that around you that want to push you every day, you want to push back. And I feel like all the guys, they do that very well.
Take one more. RJ, you guys, there was this question of how good this
good team, and we're gonna get ready for Villanova and Creighton.
Thanks, RJ. Thanks, Kadari.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach?
What do you think you guys showed people maybe weren't that familiar with you?
I don't know, Zach. We're the 11th ranked team in the country. I don't think we have to show anybody. You keep saying that, but I don't understand it. We're highly ranked. We're number one in the Big East. I don't know why we have to show anything. We play great basketball. We're not out. We're out to win a game, not to show people how good we are. We're out to just get a W. We're not. We're the 11th or 12th ranked team in the country. So I don't think there's any doubters. And I've never heard one person doubt. Anybody here doubt us? So here, you got the best media in the world here, and they're not doubting us.
Rick, when it was 16, I think the rebounding early was 16-3 at one point. What did you see kind of early from whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, what happens when this team shoots a lot of threes, and there's a lot of long rebounds that you have to chase. The rebounds are not going to fall in the arc and in the lane. They're long rebounds, and they got a lot of long rebounds on us. But I felt that the full court press really bailed us out tonight. It gave us great momentum. It picked up the half court. We're in fabulous shape because we didn't play our bench much tonight. We're in great physical shape, and I think they made a lot of great plays down the stretch.
Rick, for your liking, these last two wins, do you consider one or the other the greater accomplishment?
I think it's a very tough place to play. Yeah, it's a on-campus hostile arena that they don't lose too many games here. They're a very well-coached, well-drilled team. They shoot it great. So it's a great win. It's a little tougher to win on the road than it is at home, but we've been road warriors the entire season. Having a hell of a year, and we just got to keep it up. I showed them tonight of a great Olympic race, and I said, I stopped it before the end of the race. And then I showed him the ending. I said, we're just about 70% of this race. So don't read anything about yourselves. Don't hug yourselves. Be humble. Just keep on working at your defense. Our defense was once again spectacular. And, we have my coaching staff, we are team coaches, just like Bob with that play. Every single game, this was Talik's scout. One guy has the out-of-bounds plays, the other guy has the offense, the other guy has the defense, and we do this as a team. I have a great coaching staff. I don't think if I didn't have Stevie Mass, I don't think I would want to coach for a long time. But I've known him since he's been my ball boy with the New York Knicks. I know when I'm doing something, he's got my back exactly the way I want it done. He's a true treasure to have. And the rest of my staff is awesome. Not enough times do assistant coaches get enough credit, but I've got 4 or 5 guys who would make great head coaches. Great head coaches. Bob was a head coach at the school in Rhode Island, and he was head coach at Maine. Got great experience. Stevie Mass, years and years at Manhattan. Ricky Johnson, Talika, guys on the rise. Van Maken's with us with a lot of experience just coming back from. So I've got an awesome staff, awesome training staff, strange. I put together a great, great staff. And that's been the key to my whole career. The only time it didn't go well is when I hired the wrong staff. But I've hired great staff. I've had over 30 head coaches that were assistants. 30. I had a female coach, Bernadette Locke, who became a head coach. First one to sit on the bench. So if I want to give myself a pat on the back, I've hired great people, fabulous people, and this staff is absolutely fabulous.
Coach, let's go to Matt first. If you could just expound on the press, was this part of the scout? You're now 26-12. Did you decide to make a move there with the call? And then just for some reference and context, tonight, Rick, versus every game leading up to it, how much more did you deploy here versus at the start of the season before tonight?
The press, you mean? Yeah. I felt they were shooting the ball too well. And I felt what the press has done for me for 40 years has worn people out legs-wise where they don't shoot the ball as well. It's always been the gift that my teams have had. If we can wear out their legs, they won't shoot it as well. But they were coming at us, and they were getting too many easy shots. So I felt the full-court press would take a little starch out of their shots, take a little time in the backcourt, make us ultra-aggressive. We pressed more tonight than we normally have, but that's because of what they were doing to us offensively early on.
What were your impressions of Liam McNeely?
I think he's a lottery pick. I think he's a great player. I think coming off an injury, a high ankle sprain is difficult, but he makes free throws, makes threes, puts it on the deck. He's a triple threat basketball player. I love him as a basketball player. I think he's great.
What did you do better on solo ball after those first 5 or 10 minutes?
Well, again, I felt the full court pressure, 90 feet. We were able to get after them more and take some of their cuts away that weren't as sharp. But, you've got to change. Sometimes you go into a game with a mindset of how you're going to play defense, and it totally changes. I have a team being honored tomorrow, 2005 Final Four team, a 20-year reunion that we're playing in New Mexico. We're playing West Virginia. They made 11 threes at halftime against our matchup zone. We didn't play any man that year, and at halftime we had to make total change. We moved all the chairs, played man-to-man against the Princeton offense, and won in overtime. So sometimes your game plan just goes out the window because the other team tears it apart.
Rick, you talked about the players, you talked about the will to win for this team. Just how impressed are you that they have it every single night, even when you get double-digit deficits?
I think the biggest weakness you have covering us is you don't give credit for runs. We're not good enough to just dominate people from the start. There's runs in basketball, more so in pro basketball than college, but there's runs. They were on a great run early on. We made the adjustments. We went on a run. But you guys always think that you don't allow the other team. This is a two-time national champion in their building. They're going to come out like that, and they're playing against the first-place team in the league. So the crowd's going to be fired up. They're going to be fired up. They're going to execute. They have about 65 different plays. That's not easy to prepare for. We only had 2 days prep. They had 5-6 days prep. I was worried about that more than anything else. Just beating Marquette with 2 days prep, it's not easy to do against a team like Connecticut.
You lost a couple close games to them last year. Is this the best team you've had against them, and how much are they not?
It's the best defensive team. My team at the end of the year was a hell of an offensive basketball team. Really, really great team. And we played great at the end. We beat Creighton in the Garden. We beat Seton Hall. We were playing great basketball. Unfortunately, we didn't play great, so we're going to put a stop to that early in the year. And we're playing great basketball right now, but our defense is one of the best in the country. We're getting better offensively. I still need Sim to shoot more threes, because I think every one that he takes has the potential to go in. So I'm happy with everybody. Their defensive focus and everything they did tonight was outstanding.
Coach, can you talk about the composure your team had? You came into a hostile environment and you took care of the ball. You had very few turnovers. Can you talk a little about that?
Yeah, I think going into the game we said we have to turn them over and we have to keep our turnovers under 10. We've got to keep our turnovers under 10, and we did a fabulous job of that. Sometimes I pick up the stat sheet. I'd like to take Marquette. They're shooting 55% from the field, 50% from the three. We're shooting in the 30s with down 1. So this team has a unique ability to create possessions. And down the stretch, they're a tough team to beat. Kadari, you saw all the deflections he was getting down the stretch. RJ's making the offensive plays. Kadari making the plays. So we've done a great job defensively of coming together each and every game. We know that's our common denominator, and I'm proud of this. This was a hell of a win for us. Marquette was a hell of a win, and we got to go to Villanova and play it. We don't, I think the thing that's great about this team, we take nothing for granted. I think humility, we've said this word more than what's in the Bible. We've said it over 3,000 times. Humility is the key to greatness. Humility is the key to greatness. If we keep staying humble, it makes us hungry. We don't take anybody for granted. We know how good these coaches are. We know how good these teams are. And we got great respect for everybody we play.
In November, I told you 21-3 and 12-1 at the Big East. What you just said. Are you surprised?
I would have said, how the fuck did we lose that one game? Look, Look, I'm proud of the guys. I have the staff top to bottom. I have the president. I have the AD. I got the associate ADs. I got everybody from St. John's is behind us. Bill Janicek is here, the chairman of the board. Him and Father Shanley hired me personally, came to my house, which I'm very thankful of. So we got everybody on board for St. John's. We are putting it all together, putting the garden together with the fans, with student body. This is a total team effort, and we got a great team right now. So I'm proud of everybody, top to bottom. The leadership at the university has been great, from Father to Joe to Ed. We got it going right now, and we're not going to let it slide one bit. Thank you all very much.
Bobby, may I go? Bobby, may I? Yeah, obviously, the game was everything, that we expected it to be. Credit St. John's. I mean, that their defense is real. The pressure they put on you, the physicality, the switching, their ability to rotate and scramble, and then obviously the physicality. And, we've been playing with fire. We were fortunate to win at Marquette, with 25 turnovers and able to mitigate that by, some serious shot making. But, we've been playing with fire, and the 22 turnovers, the 47 in the last two games is, just really low level. And, if you would have told me we'd be plus 10 on the backboard, I would have said to you that we would have won the game. But you give up, basically 18 free points off turnovers, and then you get outscored in transition 12-6. You're basically in the free points category there. You're minus 22. And, that's you're not going to win games versus teams as good as St. John's is this year doing that.
Dan, is there something that sticks out to you about the turnovers the past two games, other than the fact that obviously you're playing against two really good teams?
Well, I just think it's matchups too. Some of it is just Marquette's defensive style is pressure and athleticism, and they get into you. And St. John's does similar things, except they're even more physical. I mean, they're way stronger than we are, just across the board physically. But I just think, Hassan is hobbled. Hassan is hobbled. I don't think that we're a great, dribbling team overall, just across the perimeter. And then we don't really have a backup, point guard that we're comfortable with. So really, like a hobbled Hassan is, at 34 minutes is right now our best option. But then there were some really bad, stupid ones too that occurred, like, Taras, running the guy over, or I think that, probably 60% of those were forced. 40% of them were like low-level basketball.
I know you focus on your team, but how good is that team you just played? And, can they go deep in March? You've been deep in March as far as you can go.
Yeah. I mean, they got a little bit of like a Houston type of vibe to the way that they play, the defense, the rebounding. Luis is a pro. Kadari's playing himself into, a pro this year. I love Smith as a player. Smith's a tremendous player. He's working his way back from injury. Tremendous center play. I mean, they got a formidable team. I mean, right now, it looks like them and Creighton right now look like maybe the two best teams in this league. But they're a formidable team.
Dan, what did you like from Liam? Obviously, he had to knock some rust off, but it seemed like he took initiative down the stretch and was the one making things happen.
I think what killed us in the first half, I think, obviously Liam knocking off some rust. Liam got some great looks. Alex got some great looks in the first half. I mean, if we make a couple of those, you're going into halftime with a cushion. Obviously, you had 10 turnovers at halftime as well. But I thought Alex had four great looks in the first half that would have kept that game at 9, at 12. And for Liam's going to make I don't know what we're going to do about obviously just the point guard situation with Hassan's health and the lack of answers that we have there. But I think this was a tough game to return to for Liam. And it's going to take him a game or two to get rolling. But he's 18 and 11, and the second half in that type of game, was impressive.
Do you think Alex got a little gun shy after he missed those shots and didn't really take charge maybe the way you would have liked towards the end of the game?
I just thought, you know, Alex is, Alex is such a smart player and he's such a perfectionist, and I think, it's everything he's done with his resume. He doesn't really, owe any of us or UConn anything with what he's been able to deliver here. But I want to see him fire. I mean, you got to go out on your shield, and there were threes I think he should have fired, and opportunities that he should have pressed, and you just you got to be willing. You got to be willing in games like this to go 3 for 14 and be like, you know what, F it. F it. Like, I went for it. I came up short. I'll deal with whatever criticism or whatever social media says. But yeah, I mean, Alex got to take 12 or 13 shots in that game there, and but he's such a smart player, and he's trying to get better shots. But one of the things we talked about going into this game was their defense was so good. You're going to be shooting in tighter windows, and the longer that you pass up like a decent look versus that defense, you're going to end up with a worse shot or a late shot clock turnover. So,
Coach, you talked about not a great dribbling team.
Where are you?
Oh, I'm right here. I'm right here, Coach. Behind the camera. Sorry.
Hi.
How you doing? You talked about lack of dribbling and not having a great backup position in point guard. Do you feel like their defense disrupted your freedom of movement, and there was a concerted effort, it looks like, to take it to the hole a little bit more in the second half? Can you talk about that?
Well, I think switching everything, which they do, and they do it great, and then they scramble. So, they switch on ball, they switch off ball, they pick up, they press. So I just think we're obviously much better against teams that are going to guard you conventionally. It's easier for us to, we're a team that's reliant on getting shots for our players based on a lot of the things that we run, and switching affects that a lot. But I just think. Just the 47 turnovers in 2 games. I mean, it's now again, I'll credit their defense, but then there's going to be, some there where we're getting defensive rebounds and throwing the ball, bizarre outlet passes that they're stealing. I mean, just some just undisciplined stuff that we're doing that. Makes you feel like you're not coaching your team well when you have 47 turnovers 2 games in a row. You feel like a shitty coach.
Dan, does Liam's second half give you some optimism going forward, just because he played so hard and
listen, this was bad. I mean, look, we've lost 2 in a row at Gamble where we've been unbeatable. There's a lot, I think. We got to get Alex going. Liam's gonna. This was a great game to get knock the rust off. Obviously, Solo. Solo's been off some. Obviously tough sledding in the second half with getting looks, and when he got him, a couple rimmed out. We got to find a way to to try to get Hassan healthy. I thought Taris battled with 12 and 15. Sampson. It was a tough night for Sampson. I'm optimistic. I mean, these last 2 matchups have just been bad matchups for us. I mean, teams that pressure you, while we're dealing with some of the issues that we have at point guard, both health-wise and just in general struggling. I'm very optimistic. I think right now is a really good time to play us. I think we've got a chance in February to kind of get this thing rolling and be looking a lot different in March. But again, 47 turnovers in the last 2 games. Like, we're lucky we went 1-1.
Dan, yesterday you said Hassan's, what he's dealing with is something he's going to have to keep dealing with for the rest of the year. Do you have any sort of clarity on what that injury is? Was it the knee soreness?
Well, he's dealing with a knee, and So he's not practicing between, which is an issue for him because obviously there becomes a problem in terms of being sharp. Ahmad Noel has been out for a while with his ankle, and then Liam's been limited. Aiden's been out, with the knee that he suffered in the beginning of the week. So, we've been a little bit banged up. I don't know that that's the total reason, why we're in the position we're in with the 47 turnovers. But, we got to just find a way to get healthy. I mean, does that mean, we've got to sit Hassan for a week or two and try to hold down the fort and see if we could get him back. We got to, make some decisions medically because what we're doing right now, it's not working.
Over here to your right, in an era of like shot quality and all that stuff, is it odd or uncomfortable to defend a team that is taking mid-range, long twos, and all these things?
Yeah, I mean, again, if you would have said for me, because we've been a bad defensive team, you kind of, we had the people shooting threes for them that we wanted shooting threes for them. They're Luis, those guys are shooting, those middies, and they're very proficient at it. But it's a shot that you could, I guess, kind of live with. It'll be interesting the next time we play them. But they're unique. They're a unique team that way. I mean, I think what makes them, what's made them so great in Big East play is obviously the physicality. One of the best defenses in the country, and obviously an awesome rebounding team.
They kind of go against like a lot of the instinctual things that you spend all year teaching of like when to close out, when to let a guy, like when to stop a guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they, this was a huge paint, game for us versus them. I think, like Luis and Richmond got like a couple of like deeper paint, 8 to 10 footers, which aren't okay, but those 15 to 17 footers, you're, I guess kind of as a defense, you kind of don't mind, but then, these guys are really, proficient with it. So, yeah, Brendan, I don't know how I feel about it. But again, like, if you would have told me we'd out-rebound those guys by 10, I would have said, what are you on? What are you drinking or what are you drugging? Because it's just, to go plus 10 on the glass, was mitigated by being minus 22 in transition points. Transition defense sucked. And the points off turnovers killed us.
I think Ahmad looked like he was warming up before the game. Is he closer to returning? And when that does happen, can he be a guy who can help you out more at the point, or is he, freshman obviously being thrown in there? Is it, can he help you out a little bit with Hassan's struggles? And
yeah, I mean, just between him and Aiden, we obviously need something there. They both have had opportunities during the year. Ahmad's obviously missed time. He's got to get, to full health, or, we've got to figure out that position, or the rest of the year is going to be a real struggle.
Dan, Liam having the ball so often down the stretch, how much of that is just him demanding it, and how much of it is you and your staff directing the team to get him the ball versus instead of any other player?
Yeah, I mean, I think the ball was. I think number one, I think Liam is attracted to the ball because he wants the ball. Some of it was, or I would say it probably maybe 50-50 split of, in terms of people that looked confident or competent with the ball. At that point, it didn't feel like there were a lot of other options for us. So we've got to figure that out. But again, I credit. There's not a lot of defenses that we're going to play against, and I do think that their defense, with the pressure, with the switching, and with how great a job they do with it, it's a tough matchup for the way that we play. But we've got to find other people that are able to put the ball in their hands in space and can just go and create. It's hard to script out actions the entire game. We need guys to be able to win more one-on-ones and go make plays in space and do things more off script and that's obviously a strength for Liam. Thank you.
Liam, can you just talk about your willingness to have the ball in your hands to make plays at the end, and do you just feel a lot better than you did in the first half, more confident?
I feel like I had confidence in the first half, but shots just weren't falling. But the bench and coaches were just telling me to keep shooting it, so that's what I was doing.
How did it feel just to be back generally and be on the court? How much are you looking forward to playing with your team the rest of the season?
It's a blessing to be back. I didn't realize how much I was going to miss it until I did. It's definitely a blessing to be back, and I'm very happy to be back out there, but I'm not happy anymore.
What made your defense so difficult to run your offense against, especially in transition with the pressure?
All five guys that got on the court, they can all guard. They can all guard on the perimeter, so it's hard to get paint touches, and that's where we strive. We can dump off to the bigs or kick out for threes, and we weren't able to do that tonight.
Terrence, how tough is that physicality?
Yeah. First, I gotta thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, put me in this position. But it's the Big East, very different from the Big Ten. So going out there, knowing they're a rebounding team, going out and testing that theory. So that was really it.
Liam, how confident are you that you can make a big impact here down the stretch so that there's plenty of reason for optimism?
Well, losses happen. Nobody's going to go through a loss or go through a season without a loss. This program has had a lot of success in the past couple years, really, since it's been a program. So the foundation, they know how to keep moving forward and eventually figure it out, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure it out.
In terms of Haas is hurt, and clearly everyone can see that. How does that impact your team, him kind of hobbling around on the court?
Haas is a warrior, and he gave his all tonight, and I don't know what else we can ask from him.